Fretboard diagram. In this session, we will be learning how to draw a guitar chart diagram and memorize all the note on the fretboard. This is something we can learn when you don't have a guitar with you. The most important reason to learn the note on the fretboard is that it improves your understanding of music. Basic music theory. When learn how to play guitar, you should know the musical alphabet is a little different than the alphabet you learned as a child. Learn notes starts with some basic music theory. With the natural musical alphabet, you only have 7 notes: A, B, C, D, E, F and G. They are called natural since you have no flats or sharps. All the sharp and flats occur between these notes. Once you know these, learning sharps and flats is as simple as moving up or down. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Sharps and flats. Sharps and flats are just half steps away from the natural notes. So what the big difference between the two? It's all in how you move. Every half step or fret changes the note. Sharps are a half step up from a natural note. For instance, half step above A is a sharp. Flats are the exact opposite. One half step down leads to a flat. If you step down from A, we have A flat. The confusing part comes into play with a single note has 2 names and the name depends mainly on the key you're replaying in. For instance, the note between D and E is D sharp. Sharp name is D sharp. Flat name is E flat. Sharp. Half step up. Flat. Half step down. Musical formula. We have a standard formula that goes like this: T, T, S, T, 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 S. Or this: W, W, H, W, 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 H. They all represent the same thing. T and W represent A, tone, or whole step respectively. S and H represent A, semitone, or half step respectively. Scales are represented alphabetically on a scale of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. As you can see from the formula, we have tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. We have 2 semitone movements, which lead us to the B, C, and F rule. The B, C, and F rule. All natural notes have sharps and flats between them except B, C and F. C, D, F, G, A, B, C. Stepping up from B, we lead to C. Stepping down from F, we lead to E. This is applicable to all keys. For instance, the scale of E major, we have E. Apply a whole step, what we have is F sharp. Apply a whole step again, we have G sharp. Apply a half step according to the formula, we will have A. Apply a whole step, we have B. Apply a whole step, we have C sharp. Apply a whole step, we have D sharp. Apply a half step, we are back to E. Sure, crazy fun, right? So this can be applicable to any key. Now that we have fully understood these basic music theory, we apply it as to fill up the notes along the fretboard. Making the fretboard easier to memorize. It's no surprise that a lot of guitarists put off learning the notes on the fretboard. At first, memorizing the notes on the fretboard seems overwhelming. Just look at this illustration. As we see from the following fretboard image. Starting from the high E and low E strings, filling it with the chromatic scale you have learned, and also remember the F and B, C rule. To keep your notes in order, now let's get into how to memorize the notes on the fretboard in the easiest and most effective way possible. We practice one string at a time for effective learning with all of the sharp or flat notes removed. We have only the natural notes. E strings notes. The below diagram shows how you would practice memorizing the notes on the low E string. High E string and the low E string use the exact same notes in the same positions. As you can see from the following fretboard images, the first fret 1/2 step up from the string name or note. Just remember the B, C and F rule to keep your notes in order. B strings notes. G strings notes. D strings notes. A strings notes. The first 12 frets contain the 12 notes in music, and at the end of every 12th fret there are two dot marker, and there, you have your open note, and the 24th fret is where they repeat again. Here's our fretboard again with all the natural notes. Note: on the fretboard diagram, the open strings can as well be on the left side or the right side depending on where the fret numbering is started from. Practice session. It's important you don't put too much pressure on yourself in the beginning. The last thing you want is to get frustrated because you don't feel like you're making progress. So a good way to start is by practicing it at a slow tempo. Here's what you might practice in a 5 to 10 minute practice session. Play up and down the low E string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Play up and down the A string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Play up and down the D string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Play up and down the G string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Play up and down the B string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Play up and down the high E string 10 times slowly while calling the note names out loud. Take a short break. Then come back and repeat the above.